Hey, the name's Cruel. That's King Rob Rule. So, just recently, I hit a wall with playing Monster Hunter Rise, apart from when I'm playing with friends. But it's just not like me to not play Monster Hunter, so I just had to create another character on Iceborne. While many players in my position have moved on to stories too, I'm sure there are plenty out there like me that would rather return to a more traditional hunting experience. And for new players that want to start Monster Hunter World, a common concern upon purchasing is whether or not it's worth getting the Iceborne expansion right away. Let me tell you right now that I definitely think that it is, but I'll provide all the necessary details to help you come to that sort of conclusion on your own. But just quickly, for those that don't know what Iceborne is, it's essentially an expansion to the main game with new quests, locations, monsters, features, and a high difficulty cap following the main story campaign of the base game. All Monster Hunter games have followed this tradition in the past, normally being referred to in the West as the Ultimate Edition, and Iceborne is World's equivalent to that. So right off the bat, it sounds like you don't experience any of the content of Iceborne until after the base game. So why not just upgrade to Iceborne later? But that's where things differ with this release, compared to prior Ultimate expansions. For those who have the Iceborne expansion while playing through the base game of World, there are several new features available to you that will make getting to Iceborne that much easier. So let's go over what these features are. One of the biggest assists available to players who purchase Iceborne right away is the Defender equipment. This equipment is a cut above the regular gear you will need to grind for in low rank and high rank, and the upgrades for it require minimal materials to stay up to scratch. Check out this quote from producer Ryozo Sugimoto for an explanation of the equipment. I'll post a link to the article in the description below. The armor is available to you right from the beginning of the game, and the weapons can be made extremely early. You will need to spend a lot less time grinding in the base game if you choose to use the Defender gear. Personally, I prefer not to use it, as I feel it takes away from that classic Monster Hunter experience. But there's no shame in using it if you just want to blast through to Iceborne. By the time you get to Iceborne, the Defender gear will be obsolete anyway, so you won't be able to rely on it forever. If it's your first time experiencing the game, I recommend avoiding the Defender gear in order to have a more authentic Monster Hunter experience. However, if you've played it countless times or just want to experience Iceborne as soon as possible, it's a no-brainer to use the Defender gear just to blast straight through to it. But in the end, it's completely up to you. Another reason to get Iceborne right away is that you can get access to the Clutch Claw early. I'm not going to go into extreme detail about this mechanic, but essentially it allows you to grapple onto monsters, send them flying into walls, and also soften up their hides, making any spot on their body a weak spot. The monsters in the base game were not designed with this kind of mechanic in mind, so you can really abuse it and clear quests way faster than usual if you take full advantage of it. It's also a good excuse to master the Clutch Claw mechanic before reaching Iceborne, so it makes for great practice. The Slinger also gets an upgrade in Iceborne. Instead of having to sheath your weapon to use the Slinger mechanic, all weapons can now use it from an unsheathed position. Most weapons also get access to a Slinger Burst, a shotgun-style Slinger Blast that can be used to flinch monsters. Speaking of the weapons, all 14 of the weapon types also get access to new moves and/or combo paths with the purchase of Iceborne. Some of these have become staples of the series, such as the Sword and Shield's Perfect Rush combo and the Helm Splitter for the longsword. Finally, Raider riding is made available in Iceborne, which allows you to ride on small monsters on each map and take you to any location on the map. However, it is mostly used to track monsters, but you may need to follow a guide on how to unlock these Raider rides on each map before you get too excited about doing this immediately. So that was all the new features that you can expect from getting Iceborne straight out of the gate when you first start Monster Hunter World. For any veterans out there that notice that I missed something, or maybe multiple things, leave a comment below and I'll make sure to pin it for everybody. Most of what you experience from the Iceborne upgrade is some quality of life improvements and some options to help you blast through the game, not to mention the full weapon toolkits for the entire game. At the end of the day, it's up to you whether you decide to play the base game first or dive right into the Iceborne experience. But to me, I think it's totally worth getting Iceborne right from the get-go. So hopefully this has given new players some insight into what they should do when first approaching Monster Hunter World. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more. I have a review of the base game to Monster Hunter World you might want to check out, as well as an Iceborne review that's on the way. Anyway, I've been King Rob Rule and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!